look at your patio. If your pots are still empty, you are officially running out of time. Once the brutal summer heat hits, it is too late for perennial roots to survive in a container. But if you plant these 10 indestructible perennials right now, your patio will look spectacular all summer long. Let's count them down. Arriving at the top of our countdown, the #1 potted perennial you must plant right now is Salvia Violet Profusion. The secret to its spectacular summer display happens entirely underground while the spring potting mix is still cool. By planting today, it builds a dense, drought-resilient root system before the brutal summer heat ever arrives. If you wait until June to pot this plant, the sudden heat stress will force the roots to fight for survival instead of producing blooms. However, an early spring planting uses that established foundation to push out an absolute explosion of electric purple flower spikes. You will be rewarded with breathtaking wands of color that bloom continuously from early summer straight through to frost. The only strict rule for container success with this pollinator magnet is ensuring excellent drainage. Mix coarse perlite into your potting soil and place the container in full sun so the roots never sit in standing water. Give this plant a cool soil head start right now, and it will give you the most effortless patio display of the entire year. Next on our list is a brand new 2026 release that will completely elevate your patio aesthetics. Agastache Peach Pearl. Getting this plant into a container before the summer heat hits allows its fibrous root crown to settle deeply into the soil. A cool spring establishment guarantees that this plant will survive July heat waves without wilting. Once those roots are locked in, it pushes out stunning spikes of soft peach and pink flowers that smell exactly like sweet mint. Hummingbirds and butterflies will aggressively seek out these tubular blooms all season long. Late planters will miss out entirely on this early flush of wildlife activity. This plant thrives on absolute neglect as long as it has a fast-draining potting mix. Avoid rich, heavy soils that hold too much water, as this will quickly rot the crown. Put it in full sun today and watch it become the star of your summer container garden. For a spilling, cascading effect over the edge of your patio pots, you need Nepeta Catwalk Queen. This is a plant that uses the cool May weather to quickly establish a wide, mounding base of foliage. By securing this foundation early, the plant ensures it has enough energy reserves to sustain endless blooming. A container planted right now will be completely covered in soft blue-purple flowers by the time summer officially starts. If you delay planting until the temperatures spike, the foliage will suffer and the blooms will be incredibly sparse. When established early, it practically takes care of itself and requires zero deadheading to keep flowering. You only need to provide a sunny spot and a container with large drainage holes. It handles dry spells beautifully once the spring root system is fully mature. Plant it this week to guarantee months of effortless, cool-toned color on your porch. You cannot talk about indestructible container gardens without including Echinacea Sunseekers salmon. Coneflowers develop a deep taproot that desperately needs the cool, moist conditions of spring to grow properly in a confined pot. Giving that taproot a head start right now is the ultimate secret to unlocking its legendary drought tolerance. When summer arrives, an early planted Echinacea has the underground strength to support massive, striking salmon pink blooms. These thick, daisy-like flowers look incredible against modern patio furniture and last for weeks at a time. A late planting will leave the taproot stunted, resulting in weak stems that flop over the edge of your pot. Make sure you choose a wide, deep container so those roots have plenty of room to stretch. Use a gritty potting mix and let the top 2 inches of soil dry out between waterings. Get it potted immediately to ensure a bold architectural display that lasts straight into autumn. To add brilliant color around the edges of your larger containers, Dianthus Fire Witch is an absolute necessity. This low-growing perennial actually prefers cooler weather, making May the perfect time to get it settled into your pots. Its tight, needle-like foliage anchors quickly into cool soil, creating a lush, evergreen mat before the summer heat sets in. Because you planted early, you will be rewarded with a massive, dense flush of electric magenta flowers that smell strongly of spicy cloves. Warm weather plantings cause the stems to stretch out, leaving you with a messy, loose plant and far fewer blooms. When the roots are happy, Fire Witch will continue to push out waves of fragrant color all summer long. Excellent drainage is the single most important factor for keeping this plant alive in a container. Mix plenty of coarse grit into your soil and keep it out of overly rich compost. Give it full sun today to enjoy its incredible clove perfume on warm July evenings. If you want a striking visual contrast that relies entirely on foliage, you must plant Heuchera Wildberry right away. Coral bells build their shallow, fibrous root systems most efficiently while the spring air is still crisp and cool. Establishing those roots now prevents the dark, ruffled leaves from scorching when the harsh summer sun finally arrives. While it does produce delicate sprays of tiny flowers, the real show is the intense, deep purple foliage that looks incredible in modern pots. Waiting until June to plant this will shock the system, causing the edges of those beautiful leaves to immediately turn brown and crispy. An early planting ensures the plant remains lush, full, and vibrant through the absolute worst heat waves. This is your best option for containers that sit on a partially shaded porch or patio. Keep the potting mix consistently moist but never soggy, as the crown is susceptible to rotting in sitting water. Pot it up this weekend for a sophisticated, moody accent that requires almost zero maintenance. Every spectacular patio container needs a vertical accent, and Veronica Magic Show Purple Illusion is the perfect structural choice. Spike Speedwell develops a tightly compressed crown that expands most actively during the cool weeks of late spring. Maximizing this early crown development is the only way to guarantee a massive number of flower spikes later on. Once the summer heat hits, an established plant will send up dozens of elegant, wand-like purple blooms that look expertly designed. If you wait to plant this until the weather is hot, you will likely only see a handful of weak, floppy spikes. It behaves beautifully in a pot, staying in a neat clump without aggressively choking out your other plants. To keep the vertical display looking sharp, make sure it gets at least 6 hours of direct sunlight. Snipping off the old flower spikes will quickly encourage a second wave of blooms later in the season. Secure this plant in your pots now for an architectural element that elevates your entire yard. For the absolute longest blooming season of any container plant, you need to pot up hardy geranium Rozanne today. This true perennial uses the cool May soil to spread a dense network of moisture-absorbing roots throughout the entire container. This extensive underground network acts like a sponge, giving the plant remarkable resilience against summer dry spells. With its roots firmly established, Rozanne will literally spill over the sides of your pots with endless violet blue, saucer-shaped flowers. Because it never stops blooming from early summer until frost, a late planting deprives you of weeks of effortless color. The foliage also turns a beautiful reddish bronze in the autumn, giving you multi-season interest from a single pot. It is incredibly adaptable and will perform spectacularly whether your patio gets full sun or partial shade. If it ever looks untidy midsummer, simply cut the foliage back by half to force a fresh, compact flush of new growth. Plant it immediately to enjoy the most reliable, heavy-blooming container perennial available today. If you are a gardener who constantly forgets to water your pots, Russian Sage Little Spire will be your absolute savior. This deeply aromatic plant builds a tough, woody crown that absolutely requires a cool establishment period before it faces summer drought. Giving it this early spring advantage turns it into a nearly indestructible container plant that ignores the harshest conditions. By midsummer, a well-rooted plant will reward you with a cooling cloud of silvery green foliage and delicate lavender blue flower spikes. If forced to establish its woody roots during a heat wave, the entire plant will stunt and struggle to produce any vertical growth. The beautiful silver stems also provide a striking textural contrast against darker foliage plants on your patio. You must use a very lean, sandy potting mix because rich, heavy soils will cause the stems to flop. Place the pot in the absolute hottest, sunniest spot on your porch and walk away. Lock this plant in right now for a drought-proof display that thrives on complete neglect. Closing out our list is the ultimate symbol of a luxurious patio, the highly fragrant English lavender phenomenal. Lavender demands a period of cool root expansion to build the resilience it needs to survive the intense humidity of late summer. Potted early, its roots weave through the soil to create a stronghold that prevents the dreaded summer dieback. Once the heat arrives, this specific variety handles the stress beautifully and pushes up elegant, uniform wands of classic purple blooms. Trying to establish a potted lavender in the middle of June is a guaranteed recipe for root rot and immediate failure. Your early effort ensures that every time you brush past the container, your entire porch is filled with that iconic, calming scent. Lavender cannot tolerate sitting in water, so a terracotta pot with a gritty, fast-draining mix is absolutely mandatory. Give it the sunniest location possible and allow the soil to dry out almost completely before watering it again. Get it planted this week to elevate your outdoor space with a spectacular sensory experience that lasts for years. There you have it. 10 indestructible potted perennials that will absolutely transform your patio this year. Remember, the window to get these plants into cool soil is closing fast. Every week you wait is a week of root development lost. Get those pots filled right now, and you will be thanking yourself all summer long. Plant today, relax tomorrow. Happy gardening, and we will see you in the next video.